What a time to be alive. Yesterday, President Trump gave the order and the Americans destroyed the main nuclear facilities in Iran. And I have two prophecies to share with you that speak directly about this event, and they're incredible. And they both come from the writings of the Jewish sages many centuries ago. The second prophecy is even more amazing than the first one, so make sure you stick around to the end of the video. Now, the first prophecy comes from a text called Psikta Rabbati. Now, this book was compiled about 1,500 years ago in the 6th century, and the passage speaks about the end times and the final battle that will happen before the coming of the Messiah and the redemption of the world. And here's how the passage reads. Rabbi Yitzchak said, "In the year that the King Messiah will be revealed, all the kings of the nations of the world will be struggling with each other." Lots of turmoil in the world. The king of Persia's Iran, the king of Persia will struggle against the Arabian king. The Arabian king will seek counsel from them, from the other nations. The king of Persia will pursue the destruction of the entire world. All the nations will be in an uproar and confused and will fall upon their faces. They won't know what to do. They'll be seized by pains like the pains of a birthing mother. Israel will be in an uproar and confused and will say, "To where shall we go? To where shall we go?" And God will say to them, "My children, do not be afraid. All that I have done only for you. From what are you afraid? Do not fear. The day of your redemption has arrived." This passage talks about a time when Persia, Iran, is threatening the entire world, where all the nations are in an uproar and confused and communicating with each other. Before the modern age, it was impossible for all the nations of the world to communicate with each other. This passage describes a type of geopolitical turmoil that can only exist in the modern world, when all the nations are in uproar and they're all confused and they don't know what to do, and Israel is at the center of it. This describes exactly the time period that we are going through. And this brings us to the second prophecy. Now, the book of Joel in chapter 3 in the Bible speaks of the judgment of nations at the end times. And there's a page in the Talmud where the sages, the Jewish sages, discuss this judgment of the nations in greater detail. And they describe how all the nations are to be judged by God. But there are only two nations that are mentioned by name on that page of Talmud, and that they are Rome and Persia. And the Talmud explains that these two nations are mentioned by name because they will continue to exist as powerful kingdoms until the end times. Now, obviously, Rome doesn't exist as a powerful kingdom. It's not a nation anymore. But in Jewish tradition, Rome is always understood to be a nickname for the West or Christendom, because, of course, the Catholic Church, which laid the foundation for Christendom and Western civilization, is based in Rome. And Persia, of course, is modern-day Iran. So in the course of the discussion on that page of Talmud, one of the ancient commentators, known as Tosafot, compiled in the 13th century, states as follows, quote, "Just prior to the coming of the Messiah, Rome will defeat Persia." In other words, Iran will fall to the most powerful kingdom of the West just before the coming of the Messiah. Just over a century ago, in the early part of the 20th century, a custom began that is adhered to by thousands of Jews around the world. It's called Daf Yomi, the daily page. Now, Jews all over the world study the entire 2,711 pages of Talmud, one page at a time, one page per day. This entire project takes 7.5 years to go through the whole Talmud. So every day, everyone studying the daily page all over the world is all studying the exact same page of Talmud. Now, the page that I've been telling you about, the page that says that the West will defeat Persia, will defeat Iran just before the coming of the Messiah, was yesterday's page. It was the page of the day, on the day that the United States destroyed the nuclear facilities in Iran. Not a day before, not a day after. Of all the 2,711 pages of the Talmud, of the entire 7.5-year cycle, that was the page of the day. We are living in prophetic times. We are living in biblical times. We are living on the doorstep of the redemption and the kingdom of God. What a time to be alive.